Hello beauties, and welcome to your collective messages. Hope you guys are doing well and in high spirits overall. We're going to go ahead and be getting messages from this deck tonight and see what wants to come through for you, especially coming up on this time. Clearly this energy is wanting to come through. I do feel like this is talking about highlighting, or spirit especially putting a focus on a highlight right away on restrictions. Okay, these can especially be conflicts or restrictions emotionally, sadness, depression, this kind of an energy, or even restrictions with your movement, okay, with your action, even being in like a competitive field, something like this. I am getting this word dissipating alongside that, so there could be some conflicts, limitations, or challenges that have been trying to get cleared, like blockages that are trying to get cleared. It's really the feeling, and I feel like that's something that's been going on for a minute. We could finally be seeing the clearing themselves coming to fruition in a very real way. What else do you want to talk about? So in the past here, we've got this I look at that as a very emotive energy, actually. In spirit, feeling very motivated by the emotions, or very led by them, feeling very drawn in certain directions towards certain actions based on what one is feeling, okay? I would also say shadow is present here, having to work with this is like divine rage, or like the more destructive forces versus some of the more constructive forces, okay? I also feel like this is a big turning point for a lot of you. We could be speaking to some Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio type of people, or very emotive people here as well. Could also be speaking to some fire energies, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but anybody resonating and receiving this message, all good. It just feels very much like there's a big change between who one was before versus who one is now, or as they move forwards into the future, but it's more pronounced at this time. Again, there's this energy of being on the premise of something that we've been in for a minute, this transition, this removal of blockages or working through them. And I just feel this is like that villain era energy, or just embodying having more boundaries, being more spiritually adept, knowing how to defend yourself against things that are unjust or not right, where before we could have just been totally submerged in empathy in a way and overgiving and just felt even foolish at times. There's a little bit of that storyline playing out for some. It won't be for everyone. For others, you could have, literally been dealing with a feminine water fire sign, either or, maybe both. But I'm feeling very much the merge. You could also have dominant water fire placements here. This could also just speak to very significant women in your life who are very emotive or passionate, intense, fiery, feisty, but also empathetic. Energy speaks too, sometimes louder than words, so somebody could have not always be what they appear, and this could go for you as well. You could be discovering more of what you are outside of what people have perceived you as or told you you are. You'd be discovering that in a different way, a new way. A lot of self-discovery highlighted here. And a lot of letting the past go here, and just feeling much more stern, much more ready to defend yourself, more able, What else do you want to talk to them about? Please and thank you. Spirit. What else do you want to talk to who is watching about? More queens. Queen of Hearts again. Overwhelmingly so, wanting to talk to you about everything that the Queen of Hearts embodies. So she is technically emotion. She's much like the Queen of Cups, very similar. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, dominant, but it doesn't have to literally be this. She could also be a mother for some of you, a mother in your life. She could be a woman that you've dealt with. She could also just represent you and the old battles and emotional battles, resentments, strong intuitions, and even putting those, laying some of those to rest moving through these blockages, and also putting those into good use where we are finally moving beyond them and taking more action now. We could compare Queen of Spades here to a combination of, for the way I read, a combination of Queen of Hearts with Queen of Wands here quite heavily. There is even a little bit of an air influence sometimes here for me when I'm reading this, especially because she's got all this around her mind. So this can also talk of the intellect being very stern and bold as we move forwards, having that very strong mental capacity here, moving away from, you know, betrayal or people that will do you wrong or steal your energy. I'm also noticing strong emphasis on this Trinity here. We've got the red, gold, and silver. So the Trinity can speak to like Hecate, like the goddess, the mother, or the maiden, the mother, the crone energy. It can talk about lineage, right? So there's a lot of these themes that play right now that we're seeing coming through, especially in this particular reading on the feminine side. And we're even seeing, this almost looks like the moon over here. So that's very interesting. Okay, what else to share? Please and thank you. This could also be 3 women, 2 water signs, and 1 fire or air sign here. But again, that won't be for everyone. Some of you, it's like you could have fallen in love with or be moving on from this Joker energy. This is somebody who could have felt very strong, noble, protective. They could have been very guarded at the same time. At least at first they felt like that. They could have been very guarded. They could have really guarded what they were doing, okay? And they could have really guarded their mind as well. They could have guarded their heart, their emotions. Very guarded energy. Past life ties is here pretty strongly. They could have been in foreign nature, foreign descent, or had kind of a different culture than you, been at a distance from you. You could have decided to move on from them, especially to check out from them mentally here. Spirit could have helped you to do that. Your luck could have run thin with this person, or they could have felt like they drained you at some point. I feel like they were a joker in the sense that they delivered what they needed to. They even helped set you on a new path, but they weren't what they seemed to be as a person. And this is part of this storyline, because even this is not just your storyline. You may have found that this feminine lineage, these other energies have gone through something similar as well to you. Okay? It's kind of a repeated throughout history storyline that I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that this could have been more of a mental or even a physical connection, rather than being a very soulful, emotional one. There is that spirit energy there still. But it's like you never really knew this person. And they represent a piece, ultimately, of us, a pattern within us. They were just kind of the messenger in a way. Here's where we have had a lot of restrictions financially, or where we felt abandoned, where we felt less than, left out, neglected, rejected even. Okay, and this is in the physical world. This is in the material world to some capacity. This is also connected to what you are going through right now, like purging or healing. It's also connected to the energy of lineage. Notice how many queens we've got coming out here. So for sure, we've got air, fire, and water queens out here pretty strongly. We've also just got this energy of, again, dealing with the mind, heart, and movement very strongly. You could see that you're not so different from somebody as well here. You could see commonalities between yourself and others that actually help you to analyze the pattern of where some of these restrictions, limitations come from. Whether it is like the poverty mindset that's been passed down, for example. And that's not just about money, that's about other things. That's lack, that's limitation, that's scarcity. It's that illusionary mindset that we're trying to break out of and remember how to get back into our natural state of being, which is unlimited abundance, it's just constant flow. So whether it's that or it has to do with feeling neglected and rejected and abandoned and working through these energies, this could have to do with mother. For some of you, this is a mother who is passed on, who's in spirit, you know. A lot of connection to the mother is coming through in this reading. She could have been Aquarius strongly, Gemini, Libra. Perhaps also, you know, she had some watery energies to her at play. But this could even talk about feeling abandoned from this spirit mother or this mother that was never there or has departed, has left. This could be connected to this person, this energy for you. And that can make it challenging to get closure or to know how to, you know, move out of this. That won't be for everyone, that storyline. But could have also been a theme with this person you were dealing with, this Joker energy, or are dealing with. Here, finally, we have a king. So this is going to be representative for me. Personally, I do view this as Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Also, I'm seeing Scorpio a bit here, okay? Even some like secondary Piscean placements. And there's Aries here pretty strongly, Sagittarius as well. Okay. If there's a Leo king, they've got like a Virgo placement pretty strongly there. But this is somebody who's just, I feel this person to be critical, analytical, a bit rigid, a bit intense. Very dry, dominant energy, like very dry, masculine. This could also be, they could have also been departed here. They could have been separated from their love in life. And they could also be in spirit. That won't be for everyone, but it's possible that they are in spirit realm here. So this could be a set of parents that's in spirit realm, you know, or this could just speak to your father, even a grandfather that's over there, somebody who's very intelligent. There's that Gemini energy coming through again, very smart. Why are you showing these people? Spirit, what do you want to say about these people? Please, they could actually have a message about your schedule here. The schedule that you're keeping, your scheduling. What are you wanting to say about this? This is very familial energy. Again, this Trinity is really coming into my attention here. It's almost like they're wanting to speak to you about that Trinity. Wanting you to find the power in your ancestry, your lineage, your family tree almost. Wanting you to find the power in the generational, like, familial kind of passing this through these patterns that we tend to villainize, but are also really important for us to see and to find a way to own the positive aspects and integrate the more negative ones and, you know, work with them, transform them even. There's been a lot of fear here in the past, a lot of being locked into fear, locked into the fear even of repeating some of these patterns, and there's a new perspective or a new way to look at this. It's kind of what is being said here. It's also better to move and work with the flow rather than to try to stop, change, or work against it, which will just spend time and energy. You can harness the flow. It's better to harness the flow. Instead of trying to stop a hurricane, it's better to prep for it, you know, because you have that knowledge that it's coming in a way. Not literally, but I mean in that example. There's a lot of people coming up right now. I keep seeing that, and I do kind of connect that to the Venus retrograde, but a lot of people from your past, and even people now who are really triggering you or can be a bit triggering, but this is for a reason. These people can come in very quickly. They can inspire or invoke, fear. For some of you, you're again dealing with some kind of a water sign here, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or you were Aries as well as here. Just somebody very triggering, and this is somebody in your real physical world. I'm getting the word detached, but I also feel like there's been this opportunity to kind of empower the self, which has probably come from this. This person could also come in really fast here. And you could be trying to walk away emotionally from some of this because you do see it or recognize it as a pattern. So the triggers, however, are a message. What's being delivered is still a message. Taking your power back is a huge theme here. And some of that power is reclaimed by going into, the ancestry or looking at the patterns, just even acknowledging the patterns of your lineage. Or if you don't know about your lineage, let's say you don't have any parents or family, then, or maybe you don't know about your biological family, but even then your adopted family could still be family. But going into both, going into your lineage where you can too, it really helps you to analyze patterns, and also just going into, whatever you can resonate with on a familial level. Just to see this is very helpful, and it is empowering, and it can show you where some of these mentalities and mindsets have come from. It can also help wipe the slate clean and kind of reset things by seeing that, because right when you do that, it's like you claim control over it. You claim not even just control over it, but it's like you have no power over me. As soon as you kind of see the thing and analyze and see that and claim it. Like some people, their families have a strong pattern with alcoholism, for example, that could be something. And maybe you fear about that addictive energy. But also the more we go in and look, the more we might start to see where that's kind of coming from, like where are the other patterns, what other things are repeated, and how is it fitting together. It's kind of like being a detective and starting to just acknowledge, recognize, and see that, and maybe even learning along the way, like how there's certain repetitious behaviors that you can alter for yourself, or that you can heal by just seeing even. They also want to tell you that there was a lot of gaslighting that occurred in childhood here, or in kind of primary relationships during development. Okay, these could have been, they could have dulled your senses at times, or dulled the way you connect to love and relationships. Could have been very discouraging and hurtful. And they were delivering a message. This was part of Spirit's plan, of your plan. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't hurtful. And that it didn't confuse you. Because it did. And I feel that you're trying to reclaim some of your emotional integrity and clarity here. And perhaps even reformat. You could be shutting people out right now on an emotional level, especially like romantic partners, especially if you've been dealing with this triggery type of energy. But at the same time, trying to reclaim your clarity. Trying to reclaim your peace here. And trying to get back what you lost, trying to rewrite what love is, what it means. trying to release old resentments. I mean, there's a lot of healing that's going on here. Even some of it's just unintentional. It's just kind of naturally happening. You've fallen for some romantic situations before that just really felt, it's like they brought you something, but it was so temporary. It was a very temporary energy. And there was like just as much pain, if not more pain from these than there was beauty sometimes. And I think that's been really challenging. Some of the temporary energy can be even more so connected to the father, this side, but that won't be for everyone. And yeah, I mean, some of you were burned pretty severely here. At the same time, some of you had a father figure, grandfather, somebody, even just a man in your life that you really looked up to. And they taught you what seemingly was normal about this more temporary or push-pull energy, or this very like, you can have this, but not too much of it, you know, or like, I don't know, they taught you this painful edge of love in a way. They showed that to you. All of this stuff is coming up a lot right now with family. And how it's connected to your recent relationships, your relationships in life. And what about this triggery person? Please and thank you. This could be also somebody who's departed or was very spiritual. This triggery person also could... it's unclear with them, you know, where that's supposed to go or where they're going. They could be lacking a little bit financially as well at the moment. Or just in their material world. But this person, it's not an ill-intended person. For those of you who have been dealing with that, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, very emotive, or even Aries person, very triggering. They're really a deliverer. They're really meant to deliver. They've got a lot of protection around them as well. Pretty strong boundaries for the most part too. I do feel emotional, mental stability. Some of you had a marriage to a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus as well here who was really draining or intense. Again, not for everybody. But this is also a spiritual union here. You've been trying to get some kind of stability from this. You could have tried to achieve stability through this at some point. Now I feel like you could be trying to get stability beyond that. For others of you, you could find that your waiting will be worth it. Kind of moving away from... I don't know, that's a little bit of like a toxic masculinity energy coming through there though too. Could even be a creative contract for some of you. Can we get a little more about that, please? I hope this makes sense. This could be a friend or somebody where there's like this celebration that you have with them. Could also be somebody who's like polyamorous or connected to multiple people at once. Here they are connected to fire energy or air energy. It's also possible that they don't have a strong mother figure. This is a higher union, if nothing else, that you've had or are having. I do think that this could have kept you, in your fear mentally here. It could have came in really fast before as well, but it could have kept you lost from yourself a bit, kind of trapped in your doubts and your fears. This connection to this Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, or you could just not have clarity from this energy of, what everything is about. It's like they wiped some things clean or kept things hidden from you, or it's like their energy kept it where it was hard for you to access parts of yourself here. So I'm hoping some of this is like a confirmation, at least for some of you, of what you've been feeling and going through. There's a lot of spiritual and healing activity at play throughout all of this. And in fact, the only physical things at play really at the moment, the more physical side of things, has to do with dealing with either a lack of resources, some kind of perceived lack, abandonment, feeling left out. Has to do with these triggery relationships, and then these joker, temporary, kind of painful connections. And then this water woman here, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or just this very emotive queen who's, got a lot to process. These are your more physical. The red energy is very physical. So this is what's happening like in your 3D waking world right now, or stuff that you're dealing with. Everything else here, like the more gold energies, we are connecting those at this time more to the healings that are taking place, the things that are trying to be mended. And when you see these silver energies, they talk a lot about what's going on spiritually and mentally, okay? Can also speak about your emotions. And of course the suits too. And just the energy as well. I mean, it's not all like a logical process. Some of it's just the energy. But like, for example, giving and receiving love and past connections and relationships, the way that we give and receive love, this is undergoing a lot of healing right now. Okay? And this could be a slow process. Some of this healing was triggered by a slow-moving earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, or slow things that move slowly. Could be healing around getting cheated on, around friendships, what they mean to you, around the feelings of joy that you have, even connected to a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, who could have been very draining or overruling. And everything else, basically, again, Queen of Hearts, healing around that energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or very emotive feminine, or also your past resentments and wars emotionally. And then there's that Joker energy again, guarded but not showing. We're getting healing around these things. Strong healing, delivered by spirit. And everything else is of a very spiritual nature here. It's happening in the energy realms. All of this energetically is influencing all of this healing and these physical things that are happening. So this is like your manifestation order that's been put in. You've also got these spirit guides or people who have passed on here, or that you're meeting with in the astral, even working with you by your side. So that's really strong. You've got a lot of trying to reclaim your power here with these eights as well. Some of them are harder than they are easy at the moment. Doesn't mean they'll be like that forever. This is also Lionsgate portal energy, 888 right there, so that's interesting. You've also got some kind of sequential energy here when it comes to movement, step by step. The emotions and the mind as well. You guys, I really hope that makes some sense for you and just checks you in. I just want to check in with you, check in with your energy, check in with where we're at, validate some more subtle things. You're not, crazy. Just validate what's possible. So hopefully it made sense for you. Hopefully it gave you something useful and resonated. As we always tell you, you can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. But until then, please take care of yourselves, you guys. Please be well. Oh, and once you break through, as you've been trying to do here, some of these barriers, blockages, emotional, even like the feeling of feeling in competition and stuff. This is also really stemming from lack, and it will reflect financially and in your material world, that lack. But the perception of fight or competition or war or restricted action or movement or even the feeling of depression or feeling down and out, like this kind of connects sometimes to where we're not totally in our flow and in our truth, in our abundant truth. So this is something to recognize. Can be when you feel these things or go through these moments, they can be an opportunity, they can be triggers that are an opportunity for you to go a little deeper and heal some of the roots of what's happening here that could be affecting your material world, material lack. And healing, again, a lot of times is just coming from seeing. We don't have to do some crazy process. Sometimes we just need to see and validate, acknowledge and validate, invest time and space in recognizing what we're feeling, what's there, what our inner child is telling us, what we've been through that is connected to this, what's coming up for us. Our body is speaking to us, our world is speaking to us. It's so intelligent. If we just listen, we'll find a lot there. So, okay, I leave it there. All the love. FrequencyOfTheHeart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. Until next time, take care.